Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Phenomenal Leadership. I'm your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott. Really excited about the opportunity to share with you. Go ahead, reach out to your friends, your neighbors, let them know that we are live with Phenomenal Leadership. This is our first program for the year. Yes, as we kick off year 2023, which is, of course, 2023 is, of course, the year of increase. The year of increase is 2023. And we're kicking it off. We're looking forward to some really good things happening this year. In fact, the first thing that's going to happen this year for us is going to be our Morning Glory anniversary. Morning Glory anniversary begins, it's going to be a one-day event, 7 a.m. on Sunday, February 12th. Sunday, February 12th is going to be our Morning Glory anniversary as we celebrate this another milestone. Again, we're under the theme, increase, from John 10 and 10. So, absolutely great year is planned. I want you to take the day down and come share with us, be a part of the celebration. Been doing it for a number of years now, and this year is expected to be nothing different. So we're looking forward to it. That's on February 12th. In another couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating our Morning Glory anniversary. All right? And so excited are we about this, excited about what God is doing. Good evening, everyone. This is your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott, and this is Phenomenal Leadership 2023. This is Phenomenal Leadership 2023. So really looking forward to a really good time in the Lord this year. There's a lot of things that's in my spirit. There's a lot of things that's in my heart to share with you. And as you look at our theme, for this year, it speaks a whole lot about my motivation and my direction. Jesus did not come to subtract from anybody. Jesus came to increase everybody. And my desire this year is to increase as many persons as I can. Because if God says, John 10 and 10, I came that you may have life and that you may have it more abundantly, then why anything else? I began to study on Sunday, and in my studying on Sunday, I come to realize that God does not accept whatever. God accepts the best. God accepts our best. And so when we do our best, that's what God accepts. God is not just going to accept anything if the best is available. Whatever you give to God has to be your best. The Bible says, present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And so that's what. So this year is all about increase. So everyone that wants to grow, you want to be a part of this broadcast. In fact, we're going to kick off a teaching tonight because I want you to have an understanding of what increase is all about. I want you to have an understanding of what increase is all about. When everybody was hungry, the little boy had 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. But if he had kept that, it would have only been 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. But after the lad gave it to Jesus, he increased it. When they ran out of wine, when Jesus said, fill 6 water pots with water. And when he was done with that, it was 6 water pots filled with wine. And so it's all about increase. I told him this on Sunday. If you've been in my life last year, and one of the ways to know whether you want to be in my life this year, if I'm not bringing increase to your life, then you don't need to spend time with me. We're not wasting any more time. I'm not wasting yours, and I don't want you to waste mine. But it's all about increase. So if we're not bringing increase to each other, then hey, it doesn't make sense. So big shout out to every one of you that are joining the broadcast, that have joined the broadcast. Good to see you. Hey, Renique, good to have you joining us. Claudette, good to have you joining us. Latoya, good to have you joining us on the broadcast tonight. Really looking forward to an absolutely great teaching. And I want you to put this up on your starters. 2023 is my year of increase. 2023 is my year. Now, not Scotch year only. Everybody else's year of increase. So that's all of our year of increase. So what are we going to be talking about tonight? Tonight on the broadcast, we're going to be talking about growth. Now, in order for you to come to increase, there's something very important, and that's called growth. Right? Let me show you something. All right. Now, increase is all about becoming or making greater in size, amount, or degrees. To increase something means you're going to make it, or it's going to become greater in size or amount. What is going to happen in my life, Pastor Scott, in 2023? You're going to become greater in size and amount or degrees. Whatever's attached to you is going to grow. Now, that is the 2023 theme. Tonight we're talking about growth. Growth is to undergo natural development by increasing in size and changing physicality. All right? Or changing physically. So, if you want to see growth, right? If you want to see growth or see change in your life, or increase, you have to be prepared for change. Now, growth only comes about with living things. If it's not alive, it's not going to grow. And so we've seen the church, we've seen the body of Christ, we've seen the people of God just died. We just saw them die. They're still around, but they're not changing. They're not undergoing any natural development by increasing in size or changing physically. The church still looks the way it looked when you went into it. Nothing about it has changed. In fact, the church is more dead now than it has ever been. But increase is all about growth. And growth is to undergo a natural development by increasing in size and changing physically. If you are the same size, and you continue the same size over and over, there's actually no growth. And the reason why there's so much going on in the church, so much fighting and so much this thing and the other thing, is because the saints are just not growing. We are just not. If you could sit down in church and you could tell everything that's going wrong in the service, something ain't right about you. If after service, the only thing you could remember is all the negative things that has happened, you can't remember what the preacher preached, you're not growing. If you get upset about who's singing, when we first got saved, bad singing didn't make a difference to us. We just appreciated everything because it was all about growth. And so, in order to embrace increase in 2023, you have to be prepared to grow, or you have to position yourself for growth. All right? So, increase is what it's going to be about this year. You're going to become or be made greater in size, amount, or degrees. That's going to come about as a result of your growth or you growing, which is to undergo a natural development by increasing in size and changing physically. Now, the next thing that lines that up is something that is found in everybody, which is called potential. Potential is showing the capacity to develop into something in the future, or having the capacity to develop in the future, which everybody has, Sherelle. Everyone has the capacity to increase, to grow. Everyone has it. And that is called potential. And you can see that in everybody. Right? So, what does potential do? What does potential do? Potential causes you to look forward with optimism or to optimism. Potential makes you expect things. You don't see roadblocks. You expect there gotta be a way out. You don't see dead ends. You just know there has to be some kind of way out. We're talking about growth. And I just gave you a little foundation on how we're going to come into increase. We're going to come into increase when we begin to grow. You're not going to increase if you don't grow. And potential is something that everyone has within us. So potential gives us the ability to be optimistic about life and our circumstances. And potential also whispers to us fulfillment. If you listen carefully to the potential that's in you, you can see fulfillment. When you listen to the potential in you, you could see, hey, I could get that done. I could make that happen. This is not going to stop me. All right? Now, if you listen carefully, it speaks greatness. Potential speaks greatness. Anybody that's achieving any level of greatness has potential. Anybody that has or has attained any level of greatness has potential, whether you believe that or not. Anybody that you see that's doing anything, they're doing it from their potential. God has put potential in every single person. Every one of you watching me tonight, you have potentials deep down on the inside of you. Every single one of you. Even I was praying tonight. We had prayer meeting tonight, and I was praying tonight. And in my prayer, God says, no matter what you are going through, I still can work through whatever you're going through. And in my prayer, he brought to me the story about how the winds throw Paul them ship and run it up on a reef. The wind pushed the ship that Paul was on a reef. But even with the wind blowing against them, the ship break up on the reef, Paul still got delivered because God was with him. And so, I want you to understand this. I want you to understand that everybody, God has given every one of you, everyone. I don't care, Sherelle, I don't care how bad things look right now. I don't care how bad things are right now. You have the potential in you to grow and achieve. Every one of us watching tonight has the potential to make this year your year of increase. Every single one of us. Glory be to God. And God gave it to us. If you notice John 10:10, it says, the thief come but to steal, kill, and destroy. But I am come that you may have life and that you may have it more abundantly. So God gives you that. God says, the thief can try to steal it. But I'm telling you, I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. So, God has put in every person great potential. God has put in you great potentials to grow and achieve. God didn't put potential in you to kill you. He put potential in you to grow you. So the reason why we are not excited, because we're not growing. People who are not growing are not excited. People who are not growing are always complaining, are always bothered by something. But growing people, they're not bothered by stuff. Watch it now. Now, there is a law of growth. There is a law of growth. All right? And it will help you reach your potential and help you become who you were placed here to become. The law of growth. There is a law of growth. There is a way to grow. And except you hit that way to grow, you're not going to grow. So you have to align yourself with that. And so what are you saying? If in 2022 and behind that, you were connected with people that instead of adding to your life, were taken away from your life, you don't need them this year. Sherelle, I preached this the other day, and I keep saying this. When you ride with people, you have to go where they want you to go. Very rarely, when you catch and ride with somebody, they drive where you want them to drive, do the things that you want them that you want to do. No. When you drive with people, they do what they want to do, and if they get a chance to do what you need to do, you become secondary. And so God said this to me. God said, son, when are you going to take charge of your life? When are you going to take charge of your life? In 2023, Sherelle, I'm taking charge of my life. And I want to encourage every one of you watching me tonight. If you want to experience the increase in 2023, you're going to have to drive. You're going to have to take charge of your life. Claudette, if you want to experience increase, now remember, everyone has been given the potential by God. Everyone has been given the potential by God to grow and increase. In order for that to happen, you have to take charge. I said to the Lord, Lord, I'm willing to help everybody that's willing to take charge of their life. Listen, you will keep getting what you keep getting if you keep doing what you keep doing. You'll keep getting what you keep getting if you let other people make the decisions for your life. If you let other people say what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat, what you're going to drink, where you're going to go, what's going to make you happy. But when you decide to take charge, everyone put in a chat stream, I'm driving myself this year. Come on, everybody put that in chat stream. I'm driving myself this year. Glory to God. Ain't nobody driving me. I'm taking charge of my life this year. Because, watch this now. If the person, a leader must create an environment that is conducive for growth. A leader must create an environment that is conducive for growth. So, if you are not creating an environment that's conducive for my growth, if you create an environment that is just killing me, you know what? And I don't mean to sound funny, and I'm not trying to be facetious or joking about any stuff. But do you know something? For years, there has been people that had their knees on your throat, and you can't breathe. You've not been able to breathe. You've not been able to grow. And except you cry out and say, I can't breathe, and begin to agitate, people are going to continue to put their feet on your neck. But I want to say to you, take charge of your life. Take charge of your life. In order to enjoy this increase that God is giving out, you're going to have to drive. You're going to have to take charge. You're going to have to take charge. And when you take charge, then something different is going to happen. Okay, watch it now. Pastor, how can I be what God intended for me to be? Not what someone else intends for me to be. How can I be what God intended for me to be? All right? Okay, let's look at the law of growth. Let's look at the law of growth. Okay? The law of growth is centered around three things. Number one, the law of growth, it starts off with the law of intentionality. In other words, growth doesn't just happen. You don't just sit in your car and your car automatically take you where you need to go. Even if you call a friend and say, give me a ride, and you sit in the car and you don't tell them where you're going, you're not going to automatically get there. So in order for you to get where you need to go, you need to be intentional about it. So growth doesn't just happen. There are some things that you got to do to cause growth to happen. Right? So that is law number one. That is embodied in the law of growth. How am I going to get increase? I have to be intentional about getting this increase. Listen, y'all ever hear the commercial, it's my money and I need it now? It's my money and I need it now. It's my money and I need it now. It's my healing and I need it now. It's my breakthrough and I need it now. It's my shifting for my life and I need it now. Sherelle, I am too old. I am too old to do what everybody else wants me to do. It's time that I take charge of my life and do what brings me into being what God has intended for me to be. So, number one, there is the law of intentionality. You have to, it has to be your intention. That's where your focus has to be. Number two, all right, you must know yourself to grow yourself. That is the law of awareness. See, you can't be dumb. Well, you can't be dumb in this season, right? See, some people don't even know what they're capable of. Some people is even oblivious right now of the fact that you have potential in you to be great. You have the potential in you to be great. You have the ingredients in you to be great. You have every single thing that you need right now to be great. So, you must know yourself in order to grow yourself. In order for me, and as I began to pray about this while I was off over the Christmas holiday, I began to pray, and I had a lot of time to pray. My wife and I, we had absolutely a lot of time to be before the Lord, and we prayed a lot together. And one of the things the Lord said to me is, don't just reach out to people, but ask them for commitment. Ask them for commitment. If we're going to do this together, you can't do it sometime. You got to do it all the time. So, in order for you to grow yourself, you must know yourself. And so that's the law of awareness. You must be aware of your environment. You must be aware of who you like the most, who sucks up all the air out of your life. They say the saying, one monkey can't stop no show. But I believe it's the right monkey will stop your part in the show. You have to figure out which monkey it is in your life that's stopping your part in the show. So be aware of your environment. And then number three talks about the law of the mirror. All right, you must see value in yourself to add value to yourself. Look here. Watch this. Some people don't think nothing of themselves. And that's why you don't care what happened to yourself. Because you don't see yourself as nothing. But to grow yourself, you understand the law of the mirror. Then you understand how to see value in yourself. Hey, I am valuable, and I'm looking for people who want to be valuable and who are valuable. I'm identifying them. And so guess what? I'm willing to give you a hand if you see yourself as valuable. You have to see yourself as valuable. And guess what? If you don't see yourself as valuable, you ain't got value to yourself, and nobody else is going to add value to you. That is the absolute reality. Now, we're going to have the opportunity to break down and get into all three of these laws that makes up the law of growth. We're going to have an opportunity to get into the law of intentionality, the law of awareness, and the law of the mirror. We're going to get into it so that you can understand what it's all about. See, because guess what? Growth is important. If you do not grow, something else goes on with you. And I've seen this across the church. I've seen it in the church world where people are weary. People can go in church right now and they'll sit down for the entire service with their phone in their hand, and they have a whole different thing going on with their phone in their hand. Someone will go to church, and someone will just get them mad, and they jump up and say, "Hey, going home and I ain't coming back." And you come to church and you just go home. Someone says something in the service and you just tick them off. And that's because of the lack of growth. When people are not growing, they don't have good understanding. They do not have good understanding. You ever met people where you try to share a very simple thought with them and they can't grasp it no more than the man? It's like you speaking a different language to them. And these are grown-ups, seemingly mature people, but there is no understanding. And that's because of the lack of growth. And so therefore, they on level 1, you on level 5, 6, or 7. And so there is no understanding. And so that's why the Bible says, can two walk together except they agree? If you're not growing, it's a sign that you're dead. If you're not growing, it is a sign that you're dead. If you're not growing, it's a sign that you're dead, and therefore, ain't no increase. No increase. What is it? Anything that's alive grows up out of the ground. Anything that's dead grows down in the ground. And so, anything that's alive, people want to be around. Anything that's dead, people limit the amount of time that they want to spend on. I don't care if people cry and do whatever they want to do. When it's time to get up the graveyard, they're gone. People don't just stand around a dead tree and just, oh Lord, I wish this would come alive and this thing. And no, once it's dead, it's dead. But if it's alive, people take shade under it, eat the fruits of it, and a whole lot of different things happen as a result of being around it. So let me very quickly go over what we're going to be talking about, because it's really all about growth, because we got to get to increase. In order to get to increase, you got to understand growth, right? So growth doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional about your growth. You must know yourself. You must know yourself in order to grow yourself. Sometimes people try to feed us stuff that we don't want. That ain't gonna do nothing for me. But what I want, case in point, when I came back from where I wasn't feeling too well. But I knew what was wrong with me. So I told them what I needed. They said, no, you gotta go to the doctor. You gotta do this, you gotta do the other thing. But I knew what was wrong with me. And I suffered for 2 days because they didn't trust me. They just figured I'll be in a male. Well, I just scared a doctor, and so I'm going to go to the doctor. But it wasn't that. I just knew that I got food poison. And I could handle it. I just needed to do a couple of things. And so when they did that, then everything went away. But when they fought me with it, I know myself. So once you know yourself, you can grow yourself, right? And you must. And listen here, listen. I have a problem with people who do not value themselves. I have a problem with people who don't see themselves as important. Listen, you're supposed to be I'm not saying get your head swell and get crazy. But you should be to a place where you know that if I'm in your life, your property just going up because I'm in your life. In other words, if you was worth 100,000 by me being in your life, you just automatically became a millionaire. And that's how valuable you are. That's how valuable you are. I heard this story about this guy. He said he went out to lunch with this girl, and he didn't want her to spend more than $20. So rather than tell her, order what you want, he gave her $20 and said, buy your food with that. So he automatically valued her at $20. So no matter what she thought about, she couldn't go over 20 because she knew she only had 20. So he didn't have to worry about her because she couldn't go over 20. Stop letting people devalue you. Stop letting people devalue you. People needs to understand that you're the best thing that ever happened to them, or you're the best thing that could ever happen to them. So, in order to value yourself or add value to yourself, you have to be able to value yourself. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Listen, Thursday, God's Prayer Life, after prayer meeting, we're going to be back. And then I'll go into one of these laws so we can get a better understanding of how to grow. Because in order to come to this increase in 2023, you're going to have to grow. Now, increase is easy. Increase is easy. And increase is a likable place. Increase is to become or to make greater in size, amount, or degrees. In order for that to happen, you have to grow. You have to undergo a natural development by increasing in size and changing physically. Potential is a part of all of that. Every one of us have the capacity to develop into something in the future. Glory to God. Can I tell you something? Our future looks great. Our future looks great. Thank you so much for watching us tonight. This has been Phenomenal Leadership, and I'm your friend, Bishop-elect Edlin Scott. I want to encourage you. Join us on Thursday at 9 o'clock, God's Prayer Life. We're going to be going into it. We're going to be going a little deeper into the laws of growth, because to get and benefit in this year of increase, you have to grow. God bless you. Have a wonderful